Just like to offer a big shout out to Touchdown Digital, the sponsor of this week's video.
Well, good morning everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Glenn. Some of you are watching Sniper Photography. Today I'm out scouting for locations, and I've come out to a place called Wiseman's Ferry, which is in the northwestern part of Sydney, semi-rural sort of area. You might hear a few cars going past, so I excuse those. Scouting is, I believe, very, very important, and I'm actually looking for disused or abandoned farmhouses and farming sheds and just dilapidated old rural buildings. And we'll show you a few in the next video, but this video today, this quick video, is all about scouting, and I think scouting is probably in the top 5 of our photography procedures. And the reason for that is because time is short for a lot of people, and I'm probably rather fortunate. I can go out and photograph the landscape any time of the week, really, but most people only have the opportunity to get out once a week. So to make it more enjoyable and more planned for yourself, I suggest that you go out scouting. What I suggest to a lot of people is pick one day a month, a full day. That encompasses from about 6 to possibly 10 hours, where you actually get in your car and you drive around and you look for places. Now, there's various ways you can find locations to shoot. Now, I use Google Maps and Google Earth exclusively, really. They're the only ones that I use. You can use all the other social media platforms, but I find that the Google Earth and Google Maps are very, very good. So what I do is I pick an area that I want to photograph, I pick a subject that I want to find to photograph, and then I go through the Google Earth, Google Maps process. Then I get in the car and I drive to those locations. So when I find a scene or a subject that I want to photograph in the landscape, I do a pin drop on the phone. Now, a lot of people make the mistake when they go out scouting, they take their cameras with them. I suggest you don't do that for various reasons. And one of those reasons is that if you take your camera out with you, you will probably succumb to the temptation of setting up your camera and taking shots. That's not scouting. Scouting really is you're building a location portfolio, and that is what this is about. This is building a landscape portfolio of locations, and you do that by actually getting in your car and you drive around in those areas that you found on the Google Maps and Google Earth. Believe you me, this does work. If you can just pull out one day a month. Now, most people can only go out once a week. It's usually a weekend, a Saturday or Sunday, or even once a fortnight, or even once a month. And there's nothing worse than coming to the end of a working week and you are asked, what are you doing on the weekend? And you say, well, I'm going out with my cameras. And then they say, where are you going? And you say, well, I don't know. That is probably a recipe for heartache and more grey hair. And you don't really want that. So what I suggest is you pull out a day once a month. Could be a weekend, obviously it could be possibly for a lot of people, and just drive around through the locations that you wish to photograph that you found on Google Earth and Google Maps. Once you find those locations, do a pin drop on your phone. Take your phone, not your camera, and take a photo with your phone of the scene that you want to photograph. So keeping in mind, if you're shooting a sunrise, you're going to come out to these places like where I am here, and it's going to be pitch black. So you won't be able to find the subject that you want to photograph. And for me, it's old sheds and barns and old abandoned farmhouses, which I'm undertaking for probably about the next 18 months, because I'm putting a book together on this, and these images will be going into that book. So hence that's why I'm concentrating on scouting a lot of areas in the north and southwestern parts of Sydney, where it's still semi-rural, where development really hasn't destroyed the landscape. But getting back to the scouting, I think really, quite frankly, give yourself a fighting chance. Go out and spend one full day scouting, take some lunch with you, take a thermos of hot coffee, or even take your family or friends with you, but it's good to do it by yourself because you can take your time, you can concentrate and you can relax. So scouting is, I believe, so important. It really is. So, you know, once a month, go out, use Google Earth, Google Maps, pinpoint where you want to go. Don't take your camera with you because you'll succumb to the temptation of setting it up on your tripod or hand holding it and trying to take good photographs. That's not scouting. Scouting is when you go out and you make notes. Make mental notes or write them down in a pad or put them in your phone. Take a photo of the scene that you want to come back and photograph at sunrise, and then pin drop it. So when you get out here at 5 o'clock in the morning and it's still fairly dark, you know exactly where to go and you're saving time. I know there's a lot of people on here on this YouTube thing that say, well, planning, I don't have to plan. Well, you don't plan, the old saying is you plan to fail, don't you? You know, so scouting is super, super important. I suggest you have a look at Google Maps and Google Earth, type in an area you want to go to, go from there, follow the road through Google Maps, pin drop it on your phone, and then go out and visit these locations, get in your car and drive. And as I said, this isn't just a 3 or 4 hour gig. This is anywhere between 6 and 12 hours. I've spent up to 14 hours just driving around looking for locations. And what you'll find is that you will build a portfolio of possible candidates or possible locations or possible subjects within your landscape. And for me, in this instance, it's old farm buildings and sheds and abandoned farmhouses. Then I've got a portfolio, a scouting portfolio that can go up to about 6 months. So I can watch the weather. Okay, it's going to be a brilliant sunrise tomorrow or the next day. Let's go to that location. And also, to another free tip, when you find your location and your subject you want to photograph, see which way it's facing. Now, on most mobile phones now, you've got a compass. On my phone, I downloaded a compass app, and all I do is calibrate it, and it'll tell me where east is. It could be east slightly to the left by a few degrees or slightly to the right. And that way you'll know that come a sunrise, you know that, well, this location will photograph very, very well. So, as I said, scouting is utmost important here. And if you want to succeed in your photography and you want to create really, really nice images, try the scouting routine. Spend a full day doing it and just have a look. Just look around you and make mental notes, but keeping in mind, don't take your camera, just take your phone. The idea is to scout the location and build a location portfolio. So in weeks to come, you can say to your friends, family, work colleagues, when they ask you, what are you doing on the weekend? You can say, I'm going out with my cameras. Oh, where are you going? Oh, I found this great location a few weeks ago that I want to photograph. That is how you succeed in your landscape photography, by knowing where you're going and by doing the scouting routine. So just something I thought I'd talk to you all about. The next video will be about letting the image breathe and letting the image tell a story. Not many people speak about that. That's in the next video. So thank you for joining me. Please comments down at the bottom of this video. I'll certainly get back to you as soon as I can. So until next time, my name's Glenn Samuel. Thank you for watching Sniper Photography. And as I always say, be nice to yourself, family and friends. But most of all, you keep shooting, keep smiling. Bye for now.